Hello, everyone. Kyra Schaefer here, and I am so happy you're joining me. We are going to I'm going to teach you how to do self-hypnosis. And this is fun. It's supposed to be fun, right? Okay, so when we think about self-hypnosis, we think about, we might have all those weird misconceptions about what hypnosis is and how to, all of those old beliefs around it and that kind of thing. But it's a really amazing tool. Thomas Edison used it. Einstein used it. All the great masters that we've had in our experience have used hypnosis in some fashion and self-hypnosis to help them access information, help them access parts of their brain, parts of their awareness that has created for them an opening of possibility. And every time we visualize, we are going into an altered state. And so we can have all these many different variants, many different levels of altered states, but ultimately we can naturally and easily move into those places just by closing our eyes and taking a deep breath. So when we think about hypnosis, we know, first of all, that the first main thing is that all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So even if you are being hypnotized, you have the opportunity, you have the right to be able to reject anything and everything that's being told to you. So no, you can't get stuck in hypnosis, and no, you can't, go into that place where, people will take advantage of you, right? That happens actually in a very covert way in multitudes of ways. So what I've often said to people is that when I used to be do clinical hypnotherapy as a profession for a long time before I became a publisher, was that I'm not hypnotizing you, I'm dehypnotizing you, because there is so much stuff that is getting put into our minds, put into our consciousness, put into our being that we may or may not be aware of. And if you are an empath, this is exponentially found. So I just want to give a shout out to Ginger. Hey, girl. What's up? Guys, feel free to, comment if you'd like, or if you have anything that you have a question about as I go along here. Self-hypnosis is easy. Okay, that's the thing that I think is awesome, is because, like I said, you can go into an altered state by closing your eyes and taking a deep breath. So let's just do that, shall we? I think I need to have a little bit of a deep breath moment. So close your eyes. If you're in a safe place to do that, close your eyes, take a nice deep breath, and exhale out through your mouth. Exhale all the way. Inhale. And exhale. And one more time. And if you did that with me, you may have already started to notice that your shoulders might get a little bit looser. Your mind might be becoming a little bit more relaxed. Your breath might be a little bit naturally, a little bit deeper. And that is a form of hypnosis. Okay. Hypnosis is just going into an altered state. Okay. That's it. And then while we're there, we get to explore what we want to create in that moment. Because when we're open in that way, then what happens is we become suggestible. All right, so now I want to do this exercise with you really quick. Okay, so this is an eye fixation induction. So you could be induced into a deep, relaxed state of hypnosis when doing this. So please don't do it if you're operating heavy machinery. Please. But if we can find out if you're suggestible, meaning if you are non-analytical, or finding out if you're analytical, we know what type of hypnosis to use. So we've just kind of done one thing. First of all, if you allowed yourself to feel relaxed, you are probably able to get to that place of self-hypnosis more readily. But if you're more analytical, that's okay. There's still tools for you, okay? So the first thing I'd like to just want you to bring your hands up like this. Bring your 2 fingers up. You remember the church and the steeple and all the people? Okay, we're doing a little bit different this time. All right, so now we have our fingers like this. Pull them apart. And what I want you to do is I want you to look right in between your 2 fingers there. Right in between your 2 fingers, not necessarily my 2 fingers. And if I get a little cross-eyed here, it's okay. All right, so your 2 fingers, look right in between them, and I'm going to tell you to imagine something. All right, so I want you just to imagine that I'm putting a tight rubber band right around those fingers, right around the very tips of your fingers. And it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. Oh, I wound it up one more time, even tighter. And the more you resist that feeling of bringing those fingers together, you're going to just, it's going to find that it's just so hard to just keep them apart. They want to come together like there's strong, strong magnets in both of them. And then as you're looking right in between those fingers, I'm tying a really tight knot right around those fingertips. And as they come together, and when they touch, it's going to feel so relaxing, so peaceful, so easy. You're going to totally be awake, totally aware, totally able to do anything you need to do. But, when it's just, when they come together, it's going to feel so awesome, just so nice. But another tight rubber band right around those fingers. Right around those fingertips. And maybe you're still going, just another tight rubber band, another really amazingly tight rope, just bringing those fingers together. Those magnets are getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger till finally your fingers come together. And allow them now just to go ahead and touch. Even if you are completely far away, just let them touch now. Just to complete that circuit, to complete that exercise. And put your hands in your lap. Take a nice breath. Make that sound. Yeah, that's right. And another good, nice deep breath. Good, awesome. All right, so that, if your fingers came together and they touched easily, please say so in the comments. They touched easily. That tells us that you are probably a little bit suggestible, okay? That means you might be more non-analytical, okay? Now, if you wanted to, as a self-hypnosis exercise, you could do that. Bring your fingers together and just tell yourself, I'm going to go into deep, deep, relaxed state. When I get to this point, when my fingers finally touch, I'm going to relax completely and totally and effortlessly. This type of speed induction will actually help you to get past any kind of mind blocks as well. So that's kind of a fun thing to do. But know that you are completely and totally awake and aware right now. Just right now, you are hearing me. We are together, and you've got this. All right. So now we know one of 2 things. If you're non-analytical, your fingers came together easily and fast. Number 2, if you are analytical, your fingers might have stayed apart and maybe even gone farther apart because it's like, you're not telling me what to do, right? All right. So what we learn from that is that if you're non-analytical, then you'll be able to follow this next exercise really easily. It'll just be kind of natural. It'll feel like a nice meditation. It'll feel like nice relaxation. If you are analytical, then you might want to take a little bit of a different approach. It might be a little bit harder for you to relax. You might need to practice more. That doesn't mean it's impossible. It's that you really want to have control over what you perceive and what's going on in your mind, in your life, and your experience. And that's completely wonderful. So just keep in mind that if there's 2 different forms of how our mind works, it doesn't mean that you're not hypnotizable. Because like I said, if you dream, if you visualize, if you imagine, you're hypnotizable. And how that trips us up sometimes is that we can put in a lot of negativity in our mind, and accidentally, covertly. And, that can happen through a variety of ways, especially looking at different things that we're inundated by, even billboards. We want to become sovereign over our experience, over our mental awareness, over our physical awareness, and decide how we want to spend that mental energy. If it's $1, we have $100 worth of mental energy. How are we going to spend it? So choosing how you want to spend that mental energy. Okay. So now there are 4 parts when it comes to hypnosis in general. The first part, and this is if you were having a hypnotic experience, like you went to a hypnotist and they did this for you, they did hypnosis for you. And these are the 4 parts that they would likely use. The first part would be an induction. Okay. The finger test that I just did, that is a rapid induction. So they could do that, take you down into an altered state really quickly. Okay. That's one of a billion. It's called an eye fixation. All right. Now, maybe not a billion, but a good number. All right. And then we have the deepener. So this is often noted. You're often able to notice this when you go into another induction would be counting down from 10, from 10 down to 1. And once you reach 1, you're going to go deeply into relaxation. And every step of the way, going deeper. Now, the deepener could be something like a creative type of visualization that takes you down another set of steps, or takes you into an open field, or moves you along a path, so that each movement, each step, each experience you have along that path takes you deeper into relaxation. So you have the induction, the deepener, then you have the suggestions. Now, the suggestions are incredibly important. And the reason why I say that is because suggestions are not all created equal. So if you, and this is really tough for a lot of people, and this is something I figured out on my own, but I know people have written books about it, and the information is out there. And that is when we have positive suggestions. So let's think of the biggest problem you have right now. Whatever that is, it's the biggest, most unbearable issue you've got right now. And I want you to think about saying something positive about it, right? So I want you to say, whatever that problem is, say the opposite. Like, let's say it was a money issue, and you've got bills, and you've got things going on, and there's pain and suffering, and you've got all these things happening. Let's say if it was just strictly money, because we're going to do about success here in a moment. But let's say it's strictly money. And you have zero money, and you have all these bills, right? And so you've got this fear and this experience of oh no, what's going to happen to me or my family or whatever. And then somebody comes in and says, you just need some positive affirmations. And you just need to say, I am rich, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am the, right? It's going to feel grating on the facts. And especially if you're analytical, you will immediately say no to all of that. And it's a very primitive brain type of thing. Because when we have our primitive brain, and we have all these different aspects. So when we hear something like that, our primitive survival brain goes, I cannot buy into that because it is not true. It's not the facts. So instead, what we do is we take a middle step. And that middle step can sound something like this. I'm looking forward to feeling more fulfilled when it comes to money. Everyone is looking forward to something, hopefully. Sometimes people haven't even got to that point where they can look forward to something. So instead we say, okay, wow, I'm looking forward to it. Sometimes we have to have that little extra step. Won't it be nice when this happens? I'm excited to see what will happen when money is no longer an issue for me. I am thrilled to learn what types of things I would do if money was no longer an object, right? And somebody who does this the best out of everyone I've ever met would be Abraham Hicks. So I would highly recommend you look up Abraham Hicks, regardless of whatever thoughts you might have about that. Just know that this gal's got it. So it's a really cool thing to get on this role of, how can I look at this differently? How can I open this up? How can I decide that there could be something more in this for me? And then, so now you have these suggestions. So I would recommend that if there's an issue that you have, you take your biggest chunk of whatever that problem is, the scariest thing you've got going on, and write out middle of the road affirmations. So the opposite of the problem is going to be too positive. The problem itself is too negative, but it's the truth currently. So the middle of the road is going to sound something like, I am excited to learn what's going to happen when this is all different. And then go from there, right? And then finally, bringing you back up to awareness. So how do you do this by yourself? So the first thing you do is you will walk yourself through it in your mind. You can talk yourself through it too, but if you walk yourself through it in your mind, you will stay at a little bit of a higher sense of awareness than if somebody was doing it for you. That's okay. That's okay, because all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So even if somebody was doing it for you and you just repeated the affirmations or you repeated the suggestions or whatever while they were doing it. So if you're analytical and you're not going down, no matter what anybody tries to do, then if you just repeat them to yourself as that hypnotist is talking or as you're listening to maybe a guided meditation, then it will go in a little bit deeper, even though you're at a bit of a conscious awareness. I hope this is all making sense. All right. So now what you would do is you would just talk yourself through it. So a simple induction, not a rapid induction, but a simple induction would be counting down backwards extremely slowly from 10. And this is what it sounds like. You get into a comfortable position, you lay down, you start to breathe, you relax, and each out breath is deeper than the in breath. You inhale a little bit, you exhale more. Okay. And that helps to calm down your parasympathetic nervous system. Then what you do, as you're laying there, you begin to count down from 10 to 1 in this very specific way, but not too specific. It's not hard. 10, starting to relax my body, easier and easier. 9, feeling calmer and calmer. 8, it's so nice to feel relaxed and easy. 7, nice, gentle breath. 6, 5, and when I reach the number 1, I'm going to go deeper and deeper into relaxation. 4, 3, 2, calmer and calmer, and 1, deeper into relaxation. So these are all things you're saying to yourself, just taking yourself down into a relaxed place. You don't have to be deep. You don't have to be asleep. I'm actually already in an altered state. You could see it probably in my eyes. Now, the thing about that is that I am actually incredibly productive when I'm in the beta level, of relaxation. Alpha level is going to be doing math problems and jumping out of airplanes, right? Actually, I'm sorry, I mixed that up. I'm a little too relaxed. Beta is going to be like, whoo, a lot of excitement. Alpha is when you go a little bit deeper and you can just be in a nice, calm place. This is what all of our animals are in, this nice level. And it's a great place to learn. So even if you take yourself down into this place, and you can even hear it in my voice, you can see it in my body language, you can see it in my shoulders, even though I'm live and I'm talking to you guys, and that can be a little nerve-wracking because, hey, I'm live, hey, people are listening to me say things. you can still see that everything is starting to drop a bit. So when we have this peace and we have this relaxation and we have this awareness, we can learn easier, we can write better, we can absorb information more readily. And if you drop yourself into this place whenever you are taking a test or whatever, and you learn in this place, you're going to access that information much more easily. So these are just fun little tidbits and little tools. But this is also where we can find a lot of sense of success. What does success mean to you? How does that feel to you? How can you grow from that? How do you, what does that mean to you? How can you allow more success into your life? Because success doesn't mean that you're riding the tiger. It just means that you are in this space where you can allow more creative energy to serve you. So what's really cool about this whole thing is that once you get into this basic 10 step, you can go a little bit deeper and you can visualize your favorite place in the world, wherever that might be. It could be, it could be at the beach, in the mountains. That's just basically the standard stuff. But there's no bugs. there's nothing to take your energy away from just being in this moment. And then you just allow yourself to be in that space, and then go a little bit deeper, and just telling yourself to go deeper and deeper and deeper can be enough. Okay. A lot of times I like to go down steps, or I like to walk down the dune to the ocean's edge. And then if you were to just kind of think of some things in that regard, what would you like to do when you're in that space? I've written in the sand my affirmations, and then and suggestions, and the water roll over them. And then as they kind of meld, the affirmation or suggestion goes out to the ocean, and then it gets picked up, and then it becomes more integrated in who I am. So then I change how I speak about things. And whenever I notice myself not speaking in a way that is the most resourceful, I can remember who I am. Remember who I am. Remember the truth of who I am. And that can be peaceful, loved, kind, lovable, and they can be simple one-word suggestions. They don't have to be really intricate. And sometimes that doesn't feel true, and you have to decide for yourself what does feel more true for you, like I mentioned before. And then finally, you want to walk back up those steps. You want to walk back up that dune, right? You want to walk back through that maze that you've created, and come back to who you are, come back through the garden gate, whatever it might be. And then say, I'm bringing back with me all the goodness of this experience, all the peace of this experience. I'm going to allow that peace to grow throughout my day, to get even better, to get even richer, to become even more clear and more powerful. And so that is it for self-hypnosis. Just those 4 things, and you can walk yourself through it. You can't get stuck. You can always put something in there in the beginning and say, if there is an emergency or if there's a problem or something needs my attention, I can snap right back into full and total conscious awareness at any moment, bringing with me the peace, love, and connection of this and every experience that is serving my highest and best good. You can plant in those little bits there just to know that you're safe, but know that you are always safe. And with Thomas Edison, what he would do is he would hold in his hands forks, spoons, things like that, and he put 10 plates on the floor. And then whenever he would go down too deep, if he went too deep to in his belief system, because you can't go too deep, his hands would drop the spoons, and it would bang the 10 plates, and it would wake him up. That doesn't feel like the best way to come out of hypnosis. It feels startling and overwhelming. I definitely would not recommend it. But but it was a way for him to really go deep and really journey through his awareness when he had a problem to solve. So if you're solving something like that success factor, where you would say, okay, I'm not feeling successful. Usually it has to be a starting point of what I'm not or what I don't have. And in that starting point of what I don't have that isn't working, I work backwards. So if it's success, I'm not in a career I love. Okay, so let's find out what career you would love, and what aspects of that career would make your life better. What would you like it to be? And then you move through this process of those 4 steps: induction, deepener, suggestions, or middle of the road affirmations, and then finally an awakening or awakener, coming back with the knowledge. What Thomas Edison used it for was that if he was working on an invention or wanting to create something new, he used his visualization, his self-hypnosis skills to help him to bring his awareness back with him, because in here, it is the most powerful computer that has ever been created, and it's organic and it's changing and it's evolved. So he knew the answer was here. He knew how to access it, and he knew he wanted to bring that information back with him. And you can do the same thing. So then you could always set it up in the very beginning and say, all right, this is what I want. Subconscious mind, tell me how to get it. And then once you go into that relaxed place, even if you don't find the answer right then and there, the answer can still come to you. A really great way to use self-hypnosis, and the easiest way to do it, is before you go to bed at night. You don't have to do anything. All you do, you don't have to go into an induction. You don't have to do a deepener. You don't have to do anything. All you do is you say, subconscious mind, help me solve this. And whether you dream or you don't dream, it doesn't matter, because within the next couple of days, your mind will come to some answer, and sometimes many answers. All right. So thank you so much for joining me. And by the way, if you did go into a relaxed state of hypnosis during our time together, I want you to come all the way back, fully present, fully aware, feeling good at the count of 3, all the way. 1, 2, 3, wide awake, feeling amazing, being beautiful, being fabulous, being successful, all the way. All right, guys, thank you so much. I will talk to you again soon. We're going to have another Wednesday Wow next week. Thank you for spending your time with me today. Mwah!